Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this historic Conscious Planet Save Soil event in Vienna, Austria. We hope to take a moment to highlight the significance of this event and the Save Soil movement that Sadhguru is launching. Rather than a doomsday calling, the Save Soil movement is a rallying call. We have a window of opportunity to be the generation that brought ourselves back from the brink, rather than the ones that fell through this important time period. With this in mind, Sadhguru is on a 100-day journey across nations as a lone motorcyclist, meeting global leaders, influencers, citizens, and their elected representatives to raise awareness and restore soil health. Are we with him?
Wow.
We'd like to play you a short video now to introduce you to the Save Soil movement.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. We must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
For my part, as much as I can contribute.
And the movement that you are taken up, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
Our future, our children's future, and our planet's future depend on it.
Sadhguru, save soil, my friend.
We need to save our soils.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Sustainability is an issue that confronts us more now than in any other time period. We are all acutely aware that any action we perform now, positively or negatively, has an effect on generations to come. But in the last few weeks, we've seen an overwhelming support for the Save Soil movement, both abroad and here in Austria. We'd like to play you a short video now to show you some of these highlights. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure for me, these beautiful nations, these pearls of the ocean, which are the Caribbean nations, are going for this first. Soil is not a separate subject. If we are interested in health, if we are interested in agriculture, if we are interested in the well-being of the citizens of today and the unborn child of tomorrow, attending to soil right now, attending to the soil biodiversity right now, this is a must-do thing in our life. Soil. The only thing that we hated about you were you were on the opposite side. Always. But otherwise, we couldn't help loving you. We are at a cusp of time right now. If we act now, if you bring in the policies and start implementing this, in the next 12 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround.
So this memorandum of understanding that we are signing, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
Sadhguru, welcome to the Daily Show.
Wonderful.
I know that we also are facing a soil crisis where some people are estimating that if we do nothing, in 50 years' time, we may not be able to grow anything because we may run out of soil, which, forgive my ignorance, I did not know that soil is even something that we could run out of.
The thing is, this has happened in the last 50 to 100 years of industrialized farming, that the organic content in the soil is going away because there's no replenishment.
Are you getting any signs that governments are enthusiastic to try and do something about this?
See, in the last 2 years, I've been talking to various country heads, various politicians, political parties. We have written to 730 political parties on the planet to make sure that they include soil and ecology as a part of their election manifestos, as their political philosophy. Whatever they believe in, right, left, center, whatever they are, soil is one thing which is a common factor for all of us. We're always looking at what divides us. It's time, if you don't understand the consciousness of this cosmos and stuff like that, at least you understand you come from the soil, you live off the soil, when you die you go back to the soil, that much you get it.
So this is something that you're very concerned about, and rightly so, that there's a problem with the topsoil in America.
50% of the American farmers have not seen a dollar in the last 12 years. And the highest suicide rate among all professions is among the farming community in the United States. I don't want to be that one who didn't care enough to do something which matters, because right now we are consuming the soil and food that belongs to the unborn child. This is a crime against humanity.
I hear you.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
His spiritualist techniques have gained him a following of millions. I mean, we welcome Sadhguru.
Good morning to you. In the first 15 to 18 inches of the soil, you are a consequence of that.
Yeah.
Even now, over 60% of your body is actually microbial life, only 40% is of parental genetics. So, ignoring that, thinking you can destroy the soil and live happily upon this planet is just a pipe dream, it's not going to work.
And you were interviewed by Trevor Noah, who's the darling of the left, and then you were interviewed by Joe Rogan, who is the beloved of the right recently. So is it Sadhguru who unites the left and the right, or the very important issue of…
Soil unites left, right, center, everybody.
Sadhguruji has said it's important for all, particularly leaders whose decisions affect millions of lives, to be conscious and inclusive. And this is where each one of us can help.
How are we going to make farming more respectable and more profitable as well?
When I go to the farmer, we are only talking economics. How to enhance your income. And if you want next generation to go for agriculture, this is the only solution. That he must make more money than a lawyer or a doctor or a IT professional.
I wish you a very successful, joyful, exhilarating journey.
I will take care of the exhilaration and joy myself. Yeah. What I need is, next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
We're looking at how can we involve women as leaders in climate action.
When this motorcycle journey is being flagged off, We are making a 7 or 8-year-old little girl flag it off. Unfortunately, adults have come to this place where if I see him, I will see what country he belongs to, what race is he, what religion is he, what caste is he, what creed is he, all this nonsense. But when they see a child, a girl child, I believe people's hearts will become a little more tender. If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
Sadhguru's gift of making a systemic issue so personal to each and one of us of this room, and the generational responsibility so relevant for everyone.
You know, it's shocking and unnerving. We need to take this up and save the soil and act more sensibly and responsibly.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Heads.
Heads. You in the toss?
Batting or bowling? I want to go to the pavilion. Catch me with Deva.
There's your hero.
Take a picture next to Kapil.
Sadhguru, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to London.
You are probably one of the most famous Indians, and what you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil. If only they could have seen this at COP26. So I think what you're doing is phenomenally important.
In the last 20 years, over 300,000 farmers have committed suicide. If this doesn't wake you up, what else I'm asking? What else needs to happen?
You think of what that one man did, Nelson Mandela, and he changed the world. So, Sadhguru, you have the ability to change the world for the better. And I was at COP26. I spoke at about 30 different events. Not one person mentioned soil. No one.
This many people, 6,000 people, with today's technology available, various platforms available, if you make up your mind, you yourself can reach 3 to 4 million people. Yes or no? So now, when you say such a big yes, now the question is only will you do it or not? Will you make it happen? In case I don't make it, you must make it happen. The young people here should stand up and make it happen. It's not about the motorcycle, it's not about the journey, it's not about the song, it is about moving people on the planet. Make it happen, huh?
have many followers. What is the thing I can do to help to save the soil?
In your neighborhood, do a jig. Initially, people will think, what's wrong with her? After some time, kids will come and dance with you. Tell them, just go and tell your parents, they must talk about this. I'm saying go and request people. I'm saying at this time if you don't talk to people, we will be a very regretful generation. Please, let's not go there.
I think if we all contribute, then we have a really strong voice. Save soil.
Event is about to start. There's a lot of crowds still waiting for us to get inside.
There has been so much excitement and everybody is so excited to hear Sadhguru talk about Save Soil.
Tonight was absolutely overwhelming and I was so honored to have the opportunity, first of all, just to meet Sadhguru. It was a huge honor.
Sadhguru is very charismatic and he says it as it is.
I want all graffiti artists, to whatever walls that you have, make sure that you use this. This is our time. This is our time on the planet. What we do here is our business. Let's do the right things and save soil and let's make it happen. Should I wear it? Should I wear it? Thank you. Oh, that's great. Kalo na janati tava jananam. Kalo na janati tava samapanam. Drushto maya tava mahakaraha yogeshvara kala kala. Yogeshvara kala kala. Namaskaram and good evening to all of you. Thank you, wonderful people of Vienna and the wonderful city that you have. Well, all the many wonderful things that we human beings have created have also cost us immensely in a different way. In creating one thing, we're destroying another thing. This does not mean we should stop creating. We just have to be a little more transformed in the way we create things, that's all. Just now, this chant, what I did now, essentially, I'm just coming to a simpler meaning of that. What it means is, your life is essentially a combination of time and energy. Time, as you sit here, for all of us it's rolling at the same pace. Hey, are you a pirate? Okay. No, please show who I'm talking about, come on. Be seen, man, come on. They won't know why I made that comment. Yeah. All of us have been pirates, doing very clandestine things when it comes to life on the planet. Horrible things. Because there is no way to do anything without taking something from another life. Hello? If we eat, we take something from another life. If we build a building, we take something from another life. Everything that we do, we take something from another life. Only thing is, are we conscious that we are doing such a thing? If we were conscious, just our humanity would function in such a way that we would do it little more gently. We cannot avoid it completely, but at least we would do it little more gently. And doing that little more gently has become very important now, because as we sit here, our time is rolling out. Did it ever happen to you that you felt one day was wasted, so you rewound that day and you lived it again? Hello? You did? You did rewind time. Oh, then you will be still thinking you're 18, but you will become 80 if you keep on rewinding and thinking, it's my 18th birthday. Well, it'll be 80th birthday and you won't know, that's a problem. Nobody can rewind time, it's rolling away. Hello? Not 1 minute can we rewind. So there is another ingredient which makes our life. You want me to sit down or walk around and talk, it's okay. I could even come there, but I heard you have 50,000 cases going in the city. So, there's another ingredient to life which we call as energy, life energy. So, when it comes to time, we cannot enhance time, because I know this, for last many years I've been requesting a few extra hours per day. But whatever I do, they're not giving me even an hour or a minute extra, only 24 hours. No use being a yogi, mystic, all this. They're not giving any extra time. Hello, they should at least grant me some extra time in a day, isn't it? No. Because they never gave me extra time, I neither ate properly nor slept properly all my life in these 40 years. For 27 years, on an average, I slept only 2.5 hours. These days, getting little lazy and sleeping a little more. So, because they didn't give me extra time, various other things are always in little crazy. But there is another aspect to you which is called as life energy. If you manage this well, if you keep this in full intensity, you will see what somebody does in 10 years you can do in 1 year. That means if both of them live for 100 years, you would have lived 1,000 years in terms of impact and in terms of experience. Because when it comes to life, there are only two things. One is profoundness and pleasantness of experience. As you sit here, how pleasant or how profound is your experience of life? Another is when it comes to activity, how impactful are you? This is all you got with life. You may think you're doing many other things. No, I'm building a family, I had a baby, I achieved this, I achieved that. All these things are about seeking profoundness of experience. So, these are the only two things, profoundness of experience, pleasantness of the same thing, and impactfulness of activity. For both profoundness of experience and impactfulness of activity, you must be able to engineer your energies in a more organized and purposeful way. Otherwise, you yourself are a big impediment in your life. See, if you look at the world, I'm just seeing people are labeling every segment or every stage of life as a problem. Infancy is a problem because you are like this, you can't crawl, you can't walk, that's one problem. Toddler, diaper problem. Teenager, hormonal problem. Middle age, crisis. Old age, horrible. Death, everything is bad. No, this is the nature of life, nothing is bad or good about it. You can make it whichever way you want. There's nothing good about life, there's nothing bad about life. It's a spectacular phenomena. If you ride it, it is fantastic. If you get crushed by it, it's a terrible thing. Now, when was the last time somebody came and stabbed you with a dagger? Yeah.
Hasn't happened.
No, hasn't happened, even to you. It didn't happen. They haven't even poked you with a pin in a long time.
I poked myself with them.
Okay. No, I'm not talking about the vaccine. What I'm saying is, how much physical suffering has come your way? Almost negligible. If you are in a famine situation or a war zone, or you got some disease or an injury, there is some physical pain and suffering. But over 90% of human suffering is mental, isn't it? Hello? Hey, you on talking terms with me or no? Over 90% is mental suffering, yes? Especially because you're masked, you need to speak, otherwise we don't know what the hell is happening with you. We can't see any expression. Now, I was just being polite. It is not 90%, it is 99%. 99% of human suffering is mental. And people think they have a right to suffer. Of course, you have a right to suffer, you have a right to die, but life is a phenomena that you cannot recreate. When it's there, you can ride it, otherwise you miss it. Isn't it so? Hello? So, what is this suffering about? Well, we'll leave the physical suffering, that needs to be handled differently. In case disease, injury, something happened, we have to deal with it differently. That's a different aspect of life. Mental suffering means, essentially, you're suffering your own intelligence, that's all it is. Really, if we remove half your brain, you will be very peaceful. Yes, I'm telling you, you will be. If you had the brain of an earthworm, you would be peaceful and also eco-friendly. Yes or no? So essentially you're complaining millions of years of evolution to give you this sized brain, which is capable of enormous cerebral capability. This is the problem, isn't it? Shall we take it away? Some people are keeping it soaked in alcohol so that it is preserved for another time. Some people are shutting down with drugs. Some people are sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day because somehow sleep is a relief, intoxication is a relief, being drugged out is a relief. From what? From your own mind. I must tell you this. There is a city called Hyderabad. Anybody from here? Hyderabad people? Only one, two, I'm surprised. Usually they're everywhere. So about 3 years ago, I think, a reasonably popular television anchor, she jumped off the 5th floor balcony of our home and she killed herself. And she left a note, "My brain is my problem." It took millions of years of work, very complex work of evolution to get you this sized brain, and now that's become a problem. Shall we take it away? Hello? No, you just have to learn to use it for your well-being and benefit, isn't it? Right now, we are using it to cause immense suffering to ourselves and slowly creating suffering for everybody in the world. We may call it war, we may call it politics, we may call it little anger, hatred, want to scratch somebody's face. You felt like that sometime? Yeah. So, what is this issue? I can put it in various kinds of perspectives, but I should be very respectful and nice to you, or can I be little poking and insulting to you? You're nice, you're really nice. So, according to the scientific studies, the DNA difference between you and a chimpanzee is only 1.23%. 1.23, is that a passing mark? Hello? In any educational system, is 1.23% a passing mark, I'm asking? So 1.23% is not much of a difference. I'm saying physiologically, that is how close you are to a chimpanzee. But in terms of your intellect and awareness, you are worlds apart from a chimpanzee, and this is your problem. You have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough platform. Unless you stabilize this platform, this intelligence is going to poke you to death. It's happening, isn't it? Today, World Health Organization is talking about there is going to be a mental health pandemic. That means, you know what pandemic means is why all of you are wearing masks is, if one guy has got the virus, almost everybody in this hall can get it. That's a pandemic. So mental health pandemic means every one of us is susceptible, anytime we could go pfft. Not a pleasant prediction, isn't it? Not only that, they're talking about a suicide pandemic. In the year 2020, in Japan, more people committed suicide than the numbers that died of COVID-19. We don't really need a virus, I'm saying. We're, we can do it ourselves. So why are we going this way? Essentially, not learning how to handle your own faculties. If you are 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age and you still don't know how to handle your thought and emotion, I'm guessing maybe you have a million-year lifespan. I'm a regular mortal, so I learned to handle my thought and emotion and my brains very early on because I realized the time is so brief. If you don't figure it out in the beginning, when the hell are you going to do it? Essentially, it's like this. Do you agree with me? This human mechanism is the most complex and sophisticated technology on the planet. Those of you not agreeing, where did you come from? How are you made, I'm asking? So if you buy a new phone, no, I'm not telling you to buy one, I'm just saying if you buy a new phone, should you read the user's manual in the first 3 days after you buy the phone, or after 3 years when you're discarding the phone? When should you read it? When should you read it? As early as possible, because if you want to use this gadget well, the more you know about it, the better you can use it. Why is that not true with this? The more you know about it, the better you can use it, isn't it? So this… somebody's phone is buzzing out here. So, this, in the Eastern culture, we call this enlightenment, we call this self-realization. That means somebody read the user's manual thoroughly, exactly how this works. Because your whole experience of life is just the way it's happening within you, you don't know anything else. Not a damn thing in the world do you know except the way it happens within you. Right now you think you see me here, no. Light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina. You know the whole story, isn't it? You see me within you. You hear me within you. You've seen the whole world within you, isn't it? You have never seen, heard, experienced anything outside of you. Everything that ever happened to you happened within you. So, if everything is happening within, at least what's happening within must happen our way, isn't it? These people won't listen to you, they do their own thing. But at least this one, hello? This one person must take instructions from you, isn't it? Your husband, your wife, impossible. Your children, no way. At least this one guy must listen to what you say or give you what you want, isn't it so? Right now, what you call as stress, anxiety, unhappiness, madness, whatever you call it, essentially it's just this. This guy is not listening to you, doing his own nonsense that you don't like. How's this? So, this leads to a consequence that now in pursuit of pleasantness, when I say pleasantness, there are many levels of pleasantness. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If this mind becomes pleasant, we call it peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If these emotions become pleasant, we call it love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If these very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call it success. Only to create pleasantness around you, you need the help of people around you, forces around you. Without their cooperation, you can't make your surroundings pleasant, isn't it? Hello? But to make your body pleasant, your mind pleasant, your emotion pleasant, your energies pleasant, it is 100% your business. Yes or no? But now, because we are in pursuit of happiness, we want to get it from somewhere or somebody or something. Because of this, we are ripping the planet apart. Ripping of the planet has not happened with some evil design. There's no one evil force planning how to destroy the planet, as some of the movies show you. This is just in pursuit of human happiness and well-being. We are turning it upside down, but happiness and well-being is not coming, not happening. So, in pursuit of this happiness, the damage that we have caused to every other life, just to give you some sense of this, in the last 70 years, 67% of vertebrate animals have disappeared in just 70 years. 92% of all freshwater aquatic life gone, 92%. 80% of biomass insects are gone. And microbial life, on an average, every year, 27,000 species are going extinct, all in pursuit of our happiness and well-being. So in these 70 years, have we become so ecstatic that it doesn't matter, we make a bonfire of this planet? No. People are miserable, we're talking about a mental health pandemic and a suicide pandemic. So this needs to be looked at. Why? It is not about just fixing agriculture. It's not about just changing the method of doing things. Fundamentally, we are like, there used to be a potato farmer. You know what's a potato farmer? You have to show some sign that you're still awake. Le 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 le. I am the one who should be sitting like this, because I've been writing. In 7 days, I'm in 5 different nations, and the whole day I've been in non-stop meetings, talking endlessly. I am the one who should sit back and listen to you, okay? You are all young people doing this. Okay, whenever I say boom, you must say boom, okay? Boom. Better. So, there was a potato farmer. One day he wanted to eat apples. He had enough of potatoes. So he went to an apple tree. But out of sheer habit, started digging for apples. He found no apples, so he went like in pursuit of happiness, how we are. Amazon. Hello? In pursuit of happiness, isn't it? Whether you're searching for people, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or Amazon, pursuit of happiness, isn't it? Like this, he went for it. He dug up so intensely, the tree came down on him. This is exactly the human situation right now. This is not because of some evil design. People, everybody asks, Sadhguru, who did this, Sadhguru? Which is that company? Let's bash them. No, it's you and me, all right? Every one of us as a generation of people, there is no one company, one politician, one nation to beat up. We must give up that attitude because all of us are a part of it. Now your argument is, no, but he did more than me, so let's bash up his face. No, we need him also, especially if he's capable of doing more, we need that guy also to turn it around. So, we have built a whole economic engine like this, that in 2008, when I was speaking at the World Economic Forum, I found that we came and India was running a campaign, India everywhere. So India everywhere means there were bus hoardings carrying India everywhere. When I got down in the airport, India everywhere. Everywhere there is a huge advertisement campaign going on, India everywhere. So Indians are in that mode. And then I went into the economic forum, all the Western billionaires, there are about 1,200 billionaires meeting, all of them depressed because they were a few billions less than what they were 4 months ago because of recession. So then they asked me to handle a session. The session was titled Recession and Depression. So I thought recession is bad enough, now you want to be depressed on top of it. Then I told them, see, the way you built the economic engine right now, because the whole economic engine is all about, see, next month you must earn little more and spend little more. If you're not able to provide that, you must take a loan and spend. This is the economy we've created. Hello? So right now the economic engine is devised in such a way that this is like the case of there is a proverb or there is a fable in India. This is about a man who is sitting on the wrong end of the branch and hacking vigorously. When he succeeds, he will fall. Yes or no? Right now, our economic modules are like this. When we succeed, we will fall badly. This is what we're talking about. If you sit on the wrong end of the branch and hack, you should not succeed, isn't it? So, does it mean to say we should not have economic development? Does it mean to say we should not do anything? That's not the point. The point is that Earth is a limited source. Either we should control our aspirations or our populations. One of these things we must do. Hello? So I a few years ago in India I said, see, any young woman who is healthy, capable of bearing children, refuses to do that by choice, consciously, I'm going to give them an award. Because the greatest service that you can do in the world right now is you did not increase the population. So everybody, every religious person or religious leaders at least, The Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, everybody got at me, oh, he's trying to destroy our religion. I said, where did I destroy your religion? No, they all want more numbers. Politicians want more numbers, religions want more numbers. Of course, the market people want more numbers, but at what cost? When we have such brilliant minds that in Africa there are too many elephants, so every 20 years we cull them. Hello? I'm not talking about culling human beings, we are conscious people. The difference between other creatures and us is that we do the same things that animals do. We eat, they eat, we sleep, they sleep, they reproduce, we reproduce, they die, we die. The same things we do. But the difference is we can do it consciously, we don't have to do it compulsively. That's a big difference, isn't it? So reproduction also must be conscious. Hello? And everything in life must be conscious because that is the significance of being human, that though we do the same things, we do it consciously. If you go and sit in front of… on the table, in front of your food, you can eat like that, but you sit there and eat properly because you're human. Yes or no? There's a certain aesthetic to your life only because you're capable of being conscious. If you are unconscious, then people will say, look at him, he's like an animal. You heard that? Did anybody tell you? Not you, you're a nice guy. If a man behaves very unconsciously, don't you say, he's like an animal? Because that's all the difference is. Otherwise, everything that they do, we do, everything that we do, they do, only the scale is different, isn't it? But we can do it consciously, that's the big difference. So right now, what we are talking about is even to do our agriculture a little more consciously, nothing else. We are not talking about destroying or dismantling this or that, just to do it a little more consciously. So that we don't become that potato farmer or this guy who sits on the wrong side of the branch and starts hacking it, we don't become a fool like that. Right now we are heading in that direction. As a generation of people, if we are willing to act consciously now, in the next 10 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround. And this is an opportunity that's available only to this generation because the loss of biodiversity at the scale at which it is going, in another 30 to 35 years, it'll become impossible to turn this around. The damage will be too much. As a generation, we have a challenge, and as a generation, we have a privilege that we could be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster, or we are that generation. Or we are that generation, we slept and we fell over. We either avoid disasters or allow them to happen and grieve over it. There are two kinds of people. There are some people who are blind to anything that's coming their way. Disasters happen, then they will sit and grieve over it. But there are some who avoid the disaster because disaster doesn't just pop up, it is coming. If you have eyes to see, you can avoid it. If you have no vision at all, then it'll come your way and then you can grieve over it. What kind are you, huh? Hello? What kind are you? What, the disaster? No. So, today, we are in an extremely unique place as a generation. One thing is, still there is time for us to turn around. Another thing is, for the first time, For the very first time in the history of humanity, we have the tools and technologies with which we can awaken the world. Many great beings have come in this world, but when they spoke, hardly 10 people would hear. Yes or no? When Gautama, the Buddha came, you heard of him, Buddha? When Buddha came, like this, large number of people gathered, so he will speak. When he speaks, this guy will stand up and repeat his words. There, 10 rows behind, another person, she will stand up and repeat the same words. Another 10 rows later, another person stands up, repeat the same words, so that everybody gets it. I can imagine by the time it goes there, what has happened to these words. Yes or no? All kinds of distortions would have happened from here to there. Today, we can stand here, not just the microphone, we can stand here and talk to the entire world. When there is an opportunity like this, when there are tools and technologies like this, if we don't do what needs to be done, it simply means that we don't care enough. There's simply no other excuse. There is no other excuse. If there is no way to do it, that's different. When there is a way to do it and if we don't do it, it shows we don't care, isn't it? In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, there is no issue. But if you do not do what you can do, you are a disaster. Yes or no? A disaster does not mean you have to be hit by a bus. A disaster means you did not explore the full potential of who you are. This is a disaster. This is the worst disaster for a human being because you have not come like other creatures. Other creatures have come like this. 90% of who they are is determined by nature. Only 10% latitude they have to make their own personalities. Between one tiger and another tiger, the difference is only 10%. Between one dog and another in characteristics, okay, you made many of them, many varieties of them, but essentially only that much difference. 10 or 12 or 15%, whatever, it's a small band. But with a human being, we have come largely unformed. Only 10% is determined by our birth, 90% is left in our hands. This is both a privilege and a burden. What do you think it is? It's a great privilege that nature has trusted our intelligence to a point that 90% of our own making is left in our hands. This is the greatest privilege that we have as human beings. Not only making ourselves, but crafting the world that we live in the way we want must happen. But that's not happening simply because a large part of humanity is still functioning unconsciously and compulsively. Just now, I came to know that European Union was just about to announce regenerative agriculture policy this week. But citing the war, they are pushing it or postponing it by 2 years. I'm saying, I'm sympathetic to the various problems that a government may have to handle the refugee influx, the war situation, the economic challenges that come with the refugees coming in. There are many problems, administrative and financial problems. So, okay, postpone it by 3 months, 6 months, but not 2 years. Because when has there been 2 years, if you take the cutoff as the World War II, from World War II till now, show me one period of 2 years where there was no war in this world. Continuously there has been something or the other. So 2 years is too much. This is what all of you should do. request the European Union or your Chancellor, all of you should write, all of you know how to write. At least you know the two thumbs. Write, please. Write to your Chancellor, write to your Agriculture Minister, write to the EU. Can you write? Hello? Write to them and say, we are concerned about this. Yes, war is a terrible thing. War puts all kinds of loads upon us, it is fine. Even if you cannot invest money towards the agricultural policy right now, at least announce it and express your intent. Hello? Right now, we have developed an agricultural directive or a handbook as to how to make policy in different nations, considering the latitudinal position of a given nation, the soil types which are present there. There are 14 different types of soils in the world. The soil type, the economic condition of a given nation, and the agricultural traditions of that nation. Why the agricultural traditions is? Because even if you have all the science that you want in your hands, without taking agricultural traditions into your hands, you cannot really implement anything without considering that. So, changing agricultural traditions overnight doesn't happen anywhere. So, taking all this into consideration, we have made Soil Policy Directive Handbook, one for the region and one for specific nation. For all the 192 nations, we have made a policy directive. It has taken over 2 years of dedicated work with the help of some top scientists in the world. We put this together. This must reach your leadership. Suddenly, everybody is talking about war. All the meetings that are set up are not happening because they're saying they're busy with the war. Yes, I know war is an important thing, but it's such an important thing that we can do without in our lives. So, this is off the subject, but I'm requesting all of you young people to strongly make statement as much as possible. See, don't do it one day and leave it. Nothing happens unless there's a relentless commitment. Wars and wars have happened. Well, you guys in Europe are quite war experts, really. World War I, World War II, did you not see enough misery? Hello? Human beings should not be exposed to such horrors, but people were put through that. But at the end of World War II, everybody came to some kind of wisdom and said, never again we will fight wars. So we formed League of Nations, then we made the United Nations and thought we have a world body through which we will negotiate, not really shoot at each other. But since World War II, how many major wars around the world? Then we thought when the year 2000 came, we said 20th century is a horrible century full of wars. 21st century is the age of technology, it is the information age. We're not going to fight, we will only tweet. But since 2000, how many terribly destructive wars across the world? So one thing that you must aim at, you can't stop these people from fighting, but you must at least aim at this much. Today I went into that museum quarter in your city. They were saying there used to be over 2,000 horses for the cavalry. I said this would be a good idea. Once again you bring horses and swords, at least don't use these terrible technological weapons which are mass destruction literally. And you're also going about calling them smart bombs. The dumbest thing you can do is drop a bomb on a group of people who are sitting here unaware of what the hell is happening. Hello? But These days, people are advertising, we have smart bombs. We can, from 2 miles up in the air, from an airplane, we can shoot it through your window. Huh? Can you be proud of such things, I'm asking? Hello? So the young people should demand, doesn't matter what disasters we have done till now, at least from here on, cutting-edge technology should not go into military weaponry. This you must pitch for. This is not going to be achieved overnight. This is not going to be achieved overnight. But as a generation, if you keep the throttle on, we could come to that in the next 25 years maybe. Hello? But it needs relentless commitment. It needs relentless commitment. See, I've been talking about this soil and soil-related things for 30 years. But there's a whole lot of idiots all over the world. Every nation has their own share. We in India have our own. Because the population is big, we have a bigger percentage, bigger size rather. So, initially I talked about Project Green Hands, making 33% green cover in a given state where it was only 16.5%. Then I talked about Rally for Rivers, changing the policy. We managed to change the policy, and this policy became the official policy for all the 28 states in India within 3.5 months after we wrote the policy, because we did this movement where we gathered 162 million people. 29 days I drove from the southern tip of India to Himalayas, and in these 29 days, 162 million people supported the rally. Because of such numbers, because of such numbers, no democratic government can ever ignore that. Within 3.5 months, it became the policy. Then once the policy correction happened, then I saw only 6 states were proactively going for it, the remaining waiting for a disaster to happen, you know. Lot of people like to act only after the disaster has happened. Something needs to happen, something terrible needs to happen, otherwise they won't get up and do anything. So anyway, that's going on, at least 6 states got into proactive action. But I knew that we had to manifest a strong model to show them that it works. 25 years we've been working this, hundreds and thousands of farmers, we shifted them into tree-based agriculture, the organic content in the soil went up significantly, farmers' income went up 300 to 800% in about 7 to 8 years' time, and the water tables came up. Looking at the success of this Kaveri Calling project, which covers 83,000 square kilometers of land and 5.2 million farmers who live and work there, the Karnataka government, that is one of the states there, asked us to do the entire state. But the central government went further and made detailed project reports for 13 river basins, a replica of the Kaveri Calling what we're doing. So that was on for some time now, we've been trying to see what they will do. Just about 5 days ago, the government of India announced a budget of $2.5 billion towards these 13 river projects. So, I want you to understand, this is not coming as one fanciful journey through Europe, Central Asia and Arabia. This is a relentless commitment for last 30 years continuously working. But people who are talking, oh, initially you said you plant trees, then you said river, now you're saying soil, you keep on changing the goalpost. So, hey, you idiot, when I said planting a tree, were you planning to plant it on your head? When I said planting a tree, we were talking about soil. When we're talking about soil, when we're talking about water, we were talking about soil. Because the soil, the topsoil in the world can hold 800% more water than all the rivers on the planet put together, if the organic content is high. Today, if you raise the organic content to 8 to 10%, your irrigation requirement across the world will come down to 30% of what it is right now. If you're using 100 liters, it will come down to 30 liters. If you raise it to 12 to 15%, your irrigation requirement will come down to 10 to 15%. From 100 liters, it can come down to 15 liters. So, you cannot talk about water, air, environment without talking about soil, because soil is the base from which everything happens. What do you think, 10,000, 15,000 years ago when that cave, in the cave when they discovered how to make fire and learn to cook food on that, was it a man or a woman? She's not married. Anyway, it was a man or a woman, we can't decide. Normally it is said it's a caveman. Whoever discovered how to cook food with fire made a phenomenal difference, isn't it? Yes or no? But over nearly 1 billion years ago, a very smart fungi or an algae, it could be, we don't know whether it's just like man or woman, we don't know whether it's an algae or a fungi who did this first. Between the two of them, somebody discovered how to cook their food using the perpetual energy of the sun, which today we call it as photosynthesis. When photosynthesis started nearly 1 billion years ago, or before that, the oxygen content in the atmosphere of the earth was just a shade over 1%. Today it is around 21%. Only because of this, you and me are alive. Only because of this, many complex life forms have happened. But today everybody is busy talking about carbon dioxide for some reason, because most of them are WhatsApp scientists. They read 2 messages on the WhatsApp and suddenly become scientists, you know. We also decided it's best to do it this way. On the website there are toolkits with which in 25 minutes you can learn to speak for 1 minute to anybody you meet like you're a soil scientist. This is the training as part of the Save Soil. Hello? Because all kinds of idiots who have no intention of doing anything in their life, because they're perfect people, they have never made a mistake in their life because they never did anything. If you're doing something, some mistakes happen, isn't it? Hello? If you're doing something will go this way, that way, your cooking goes wrong every day. No. Hey, come on, I'm joking, come on, because I can't see your face. What do you think, every day? What's your name? Sandeep. Sandeep, when he got married, after the honeymoon was over, when they came back home, what's your name? Hey, it's okay if I joke on you? Oh no, it's recorded on the camera, let me use some other name. So, a young man got married, young man and a young woman got married, they went on a honeymoon, they came back home, and the new bride was super enthusiastic, she wanted to cook for him. So he went to the office and he came back, the whole house was smelling. Many things. So he came little apprehensive. Then she said, you know, there are only two things that I learned to cook from my mother, and I've made it today. He said, really, you cooked yourself? He said, yeah, come, let's have dinner. So he sat down and she served. He cut it open and put it in his mouth, and a pensive moment, you know. Then she said, you know, there are only two things I learned how to cook. One is a meatball, the other is an apple pie. These are only two things I learned from my mother. He put it in his mouth and asked, which one is this? So, cooking, they started cooking with solar energy nearly 1 billion years ago. Because of that, you have this much oxygen. Because of that, you and me are sitting here alive right now, and every other life in this planet is on. So, this photosynthesis is the most phenomenal thing that's happened on this planet. But everybody is talking about carbon, nobody is talking about oxygen anymore, because carbon is fashionable. And all these online scientists, if you utter the word carbon, they say, oh, poison, poison, beat it down. No, we are all carbon life, aren't we? Hello? Every life on this planet that you see is made of carbon. What you call as life here is just a cycle of carbon that's going on. In this cycle, soil is the most important and vital link, and that link has worn so thin, if you push it any further, the chain will wither in many ways. That's what we're talking about when we say save soil, because if we don't do it now, we will be jeopardizing human life on the planet first. Other lives, unfortunately, people have been taught that every other life is here only to serve us. You do one thing, go and ask an ant, are you here to serve me? He will make you hop. Go and ask a bumblebee, put your nose into the beehive and ask, are you here to serve me, make honey for me, are you my honey maker? You know what'll happen to you. Everybody, every one of them. I've spent so much time in the jungles, what I see is every one of them have a complete life of their own systems of living, their own understanding, unbelievable, unbelievable. Termites, I went into really looking at termites, I couldn't believe it. What they're doing and the level of organization and their traffic control. Incredible, really. And if you don't know this, in many places, if a termite is here in this soil, do you have termites here or no? You have? Yes or no? Termites, you know. So these little boys put their hands into everything, they must know. So, the termite here, if it is there in this soil, it is capable of knowing up to 700 miles, if there is water somewhere, they will hit a tunnel and get there. There must be something, isn't it? Huh? For their life, they are very intelligent and super organized, yes or no? They can also bring down your house, that's a different matter. But for their life, they know what to do. Every animal seems to know at least how to handle their life well. It's only human beings who are so confused about everything. Hello? This confusion is a consequence. This confusion is a consequence of not learning to handle our freedom. Nature has released us from certain… for every other life, nature has put 2 lines. Within those lines, they must live and die. But for human beings, there's only 1 line. There is no top line. You can make whatever you want out of yourself, but not able to make use of it because there is not enough investment upon the individual human being. Everybody is talking about nation, race, religion, organizations and this and that. There is not enough focus on the individual. If we really want to make a change, we have to focus on you, you and you, isn't it? Hello? All of you together will treat you as one entity. All you can do is, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. When you get a group of people together and make them into one, all that's happened is fighting, conflict, endlessly. It's extremely important that human intelligence is cultivated as individual intelligence, not as a mass intelligence. Hello? This does not mean all the hippie-looking guys are going, yeah. This does not mean each one of us doing our own freaky things. This means that a human being can explore the possibilities of being human. What are all the different dimensions of being human? Only within our experience. There is no such thing as doing it here, isn't it? Hello? According to, in the yogic sciences, we look at the energy system in a certain way. What I see is, if you use approximately 21 of the 112 chakras which are there in your physiology, you know what's a chakra? All of you? No, not the wheels of your car, I'm talking about chakra. So what a chakra means is, these are like junction boxes in the energy system. They always meet in the form of a triangle, but we call them a chakra, which literally means a wheel, because it represents dynamism, it represents movement from one state to another. So there are 114 of them, 2 of them are outside one's physiology, 112 embedded in our body. Out of this, if 21 of them are functioning, are activated, you will live a complete life. 21 only. You will live a total life, physically, mentally, successful life you can live. You get the feeling that you're quite complete, you don't need to do anything more. So what are the remaining things for? Only if you touch the other aspects of energy, will you open up to other dimensions of experience beyond physical nature. Physical nature means… So we've said this in so many ways already, your whole experience is within you, yes or no? Pain and pleasure is within you, joy and misery is within you, agony and ecstasy is within you, everything happens only within you, even light and darkness happens only within you. You take a spoon of honey and you say, it's sweet. It's not about the honey, it's your tongue. If you did not have a tongue, you won't know what the honey is. Yes or no? It's a tongue which is giving you an experience. Maybe some other animal doesn't have that. If you put honey, means nothing to somebody else. So, when the whole experience of life within you, it is important to understand, if you limit your experience just to your physical self, what physical self means is, you were not born this way, were you, Save Soil boy? Huh? You were not born like this. You were born like this, now you become like this. I'm not saying anything wrong with you. All I'm saying is, how did you become like this? You just gathered. How? By eating the food that you're eating. The food that you're eating is just the soil, just a few days ago or a few months ago, yes or no? The soil became food and food became your body. Now you're thinking, this is me. What you gather can be yours. but cannot be you, isn't it? Now, suddenly I say, this is my bell. Then you say, oh, Sadhguru's got a problem. But everybody says he's wise, so let's listen some more. After some time, I say, this is me. Then you will say, let's go. Because this is a clear mental case, isn't it? Hello? But every day you're doing this. Food appears on your plate, you say, this is my food, you eat it and then you say, this is me. Case or no? Only case number we have to decide. Case, isn't it? This is a case. If you believe anything that is not you to be you, it amounts to psychological impairment, yes or no? Hello? And you have a heap of food which you call as my body, you have a heap of impressions which you call as my mind, and you think that is you. Once you made this one wrong way of perceiving what you are, after that everything is a mistake. Some time ago, I think almost 7–8 years ago, only about 4 or 5 books I've actually sat down and worked on, but over 123 or some books they've published, largely from the talks. They've just transcribed those talks and made books. So I don't like to read my own stuff, so I don't like to read anything. It's a confession, don't tell anybody. Everybody thinks I know all the scriptures backwards. Don't tell them. So, these books come to me only for giving them the title for the book. So this book came, I just flipped around, then I gave a title, Of Mystics and Mistakes. So our people said, Sadhguru, this is too much up in the face, can you give something little more gentle? I said, see, no, there are only two kinds of people in the world, mystics and mistakes. If somebody perceives everything just the way it is, you call him a mystic. So in revenge, I call you a mistake because you did not perceive it the way it is. Hello? So the moment you make this one mistake, that what is not you, you thought is you, after that everything is a mistake. Is it true you gathered this body over a period of time? Hello? What you gather can be yours, but never ever can be you, is that so? Oh, you're enlightened, From this comes all the problems. From this comes all the problems that we breed in the world. This is me, that is you. What is you and me is like this. This little boy or girl, do you blow soap bubbles? Ask her. Hello? Soap bubbles. Yes, I got one, you will blow it? No? Okay, if you and me start blowing soap bubbles, your bubble came like this, my bubble came like that. Then I say, this is my bubble, big one is mine. Then it went poop. Then I don't say, this is my air, that is your air. Stupid, isn't it? Hello? But your entire life is structured around this. This is a living cosmos. You capture little life, I capture little life. That's all it is. Now, the whole system of yoga is about how to capture more life than what I have right now, so that my life and experience of life is enhanced, not because of what I do, simply because of the way I am. If you sit here, you must feel the significance of the life. Right now, I want you to look at this carefully. Your significance is largely in comparison with somebody. If you are wearing better clothes than somebody, you feel little more significant. If your jewelry is more expensive than theirs, you feel significant. Your car is bigger than theirs, you feel significant. Or your muscles are bigger, you feel significant, whatever nonsense. But your significance is only in other people's losses or other people's failures, isn't it so? Because it's always in comparison. This guy, I met this young person in America and I asked him, what do you want to do with your life? Sadhguru, my only thing is, I want to make $1 billion. I said, see, I can give you $1 billion if you want. He said, really? I said, yes, I can give you $1 billion. He had come with a bunch of friends. I said, I'm going to give you $1 billion, but all these friends of yours, I'm going to give each one of them $10 billion. He said, why, Sadhguru? I said, you only wanted $1 billion. No. If they don't have $1 billion and I have $1 billion, it's good. If they have 10 billion and I have only 1 billion, no good. So always, in comparison only, this is not something that you made up, because the very 5 senses that you have can perceive only in comparison. Only because there is light, if it goes off, you know what is darkness. Only because there is a man, you know what is a woman. Only because there is a day, you know what is night. Everything that you know is only by comparison. What is small and big is by comparison. If you're 6 feet tall, you are walking like a tall man, feeling like a tall man. Suddenly you walked into another society where everybody is 8 feet tall. Suddenly you become a short man. Feel like a short man, think like a short man, walk like a short man, isn't it? Hello? So what you know in comparison is not life. It is only a survival mechanism, so that you don't go and pick a fight with an elephant. Survival, You're very careful, isn't it? If you pick a fight, you always pick where there is least damage. You don't go and yell at your boss, do you? You only come home and yell at somebody. You're smart. So, you know everything by comparison. By comparison, you can only know the physical aspects of life. You cannot know the basic nature of life itself. For this, you need to capture little more life, little more intense energy, so that naturally your perception goes beyond the 5 senses. If this one thing had happened, neither soil problem, nor war problem, nor any goddamn problem would exist. It has happened, but too fewer people. This is why, shall I tell you my problems? You okay? You shouldn't cry, huh? This happened nearly 40 years ago. This September, it'll be 40 years. I was sitting on a small hill and suddenly I just burst into an ecstatic state. I did not know where I am not. I seemed like I was everywhere and every cell in my body was dripping ecstasy. Then I thought it's just a few minutes, but when I came out it was about 4.5 hours. Then I was a super skeptic, I'm thinking, what's happening with me? Maybe I'm going off my rocker. Then I asked my closest friends, something is happening to me, it's too fantastic. I said, hey, come on, what did you drink? What did you pop? I knew there's no point talking about it because there was no context anywhere around me to tell me what's happening to me. And I had not grown up in any spiritual tradition, I had grown up out and out, wild. Do I still look wild? I'm sorry, I'm supposed to look spiritual. Because the beard I have, but I need a constipated look on my face, which I'm not able to get. So, Then I experimented with this and realized, if I don't mess with my mind, if I just take my hands off my mind, I burst into ecstasy. I tried this in many different ways, then I knew this is it. So I thought, this is it, I've hit a gold mine. And on that day, the world's population was 5.6 billion people. And I sat down and made a plan. I was 25 years of age. I made a plan that in 2.5 years' time, I will make the entire world blissful. 40 years. These days people are telling me to make me feel little better. Sadhguru, we have touched more than 2 billion people on the planet. You must be happy. I said, happiness is not the problem, but I am a failure, that much I know. I am a blissful failure though. They can't make me unhappy, but I know I will die a failure because population has grown to 8 billion and too many people are committed to their miseries. Whatever you do with them, they are determined to die miserable. Hello? Are you here? Yes. Come on, don't say that. Are the miserable people here, I'm asking? Yes, sir. Oh, first I got a bell, now I got a cow. This is it. I'm on a motorcycle, otherwise I would have carried a pasture also with me. So, what I'm trying to tell you is, this life is a brief amount of time. Before you know what's happening, it'll be goddamn over. You may think, oh, I'm young, I got a lot of life. See, have you seen on a certain day, if you're very happy, you're just so happy, 24 hours, chup, went off like a moment? Have you had days like that? On another day, you're a little miserable, depressed. 24 hours feels like a eon or at least a year. Yes or no? So only miserable people can have a long life. If you are really joyful, blissful, before you know what's happening, it's over. People keep asking me, Sadhguru, where do you get this energy in any kind of situation? The number of projects you're running, the number of people that you talk to on a daily basis, how do you manage this? Well, I feel like I just started day before yesterday, yeah? Hello? It's just getting over so quick. The same is true with you and everybody, because if you explore human potential, then the time that you have is too little. If you just know your physical body and your silly thoughts and emotions, then it feels very long, very long. A lot of people even have to kill themselves because it's too long. Hello? Whatever 70, 80, 90, 100 years of life, for what potential a human being has come with, it's too little, too little. So, people ask me, Sadhguru, my dream should come true, will you bless me? My blessing is, may your dreams not come true. Because may something that you could not dream of happen to you. Because just look at this carefully and see, what is it that you can dream of? If you know $1, you will think of $1 billion. If you know this, you will exaggerate into that. You cannot dream of something that you do not absolutely know, isn't it? So does it mean to say that you want only the same things exaggerated? Or is it important, something that you cannot even think of should arise and happen in your life? Are you okay with the blessing? May your dreams not be fulfilled. May your life be about things that you could not even ever dream of. I got one more blessing. I got one more blessing, shall I do? Yes. Hello, hello? May you die as a failure in your life. Oh, what is this, Sadhguru? Yes, see, you set up a tiny little goal, do it, make it happen, and then say, I did it. This is stupid, childish. For the brains that you have, I'll come to you, boy. Oh, thank you, thank you. I think from Vienna I must drive a truck the rest of the route. For the brains that you have, for the intelligence that you have, for the consciousness that you're capable of, these 100 years if you live is not enough. You must die as a failure because your vision is so big. It should not be completed in such a brief amount of time. Is it okay, 2 blessings for you? Yes. But to realize these things in our life, we need healthy soil. Above all, our promise to the future generations. With what is the promise that you have for these children? You may not say it to them, but essentially your promise is, I want you to live better than me. Isn't this the fundamental promise you have for your children? If you don't have this, I want these children to live better than me, know something more than I know, experience something more than I have experienced, live life better than me. If you don't have this in you, you're not a human. 1.23%, you're right there. But even a chimpanzee has that emotion and feeling towards its offsprings. Oh, I got a boat also, thank you. Should I? Oh, thank you. Oh, I was asking for a truck, but I got a boat. So, I'm asking you, in this hall, these 1,700 people who are here, with the modern technologies that you have and the gadgets that you have, if you make up your mind, the number… See, this time I'm aspiring very low. I'm not asking for 8 billion people, I'm only asking for 4. Hello? Just all of you here, if you use your brains and the gadgets that you have properly, right here, just you, leave the other cities and nations that I'm going to, just you can touch 4 billion people, yes or no? Yes. The question is only, will you do it or not? Sure. All I'm asking you is, enroll yourself as an earth buddy and every day, 10 to 15 minutes is all I'm asking. 10 to 15 minutes, see how to enhance the message, because right now the most important thing is to change the narrative on the planet. The narrative is elsewhere. We need to bring that narrative back to soil, because soil is the source of who we are. If we live on it. If we die, we go back to it. People are continuously asking me, Sadhguru, what can I do, what can I do? Shall I go fix my garden? That's wonderful of you, very cute. You fixing your garden because you're concerned about the soil in the world. Yes, it's a good thing to do, I'm not against it at all, but it's not a solution. It's very cute and wonderful of you to do that, but it's not a solution because 71% of the world's land is under agriculture. That is where the problem is. If we don't address that now, just to give you a perspective, in this region, Germany, Czech Republic and Austria, average organic content in the soil is about 1.48%. In United States, 30% of the topsoil is gone, totally gone. It has disappeared. To create 1 inch of topsoil, it takes nearly 500 years. It's not something you can manufacture overnight and throw it out there. In India, 62% of the agricultural soil, the organic content is less than 0.5%. Across Africa, the average organic content is 0.3%. On the verge of desertification, a whole continent. If you look it up on the Google Maps, you will see, in the last 25 years, the deserts have grown by 10%. 10% of the earth's land has been desertified in just 25 years. What is your plan for your children? Just moo, I love you, I love you. This is not going to help. If you do not create a situation so, if you want to say, I love you to your children, you must say, save soil. That's a more committed way of saying, I love you. All of you must write, as I told you already, you must write to your local representative, your members of the parliament, you must write to your chancellor, you must write to whoever is in different regions. I'll come to you, I'll come to you. Yeah. Your mother is disposing all the things that she wants to with me. It's all right, thank you. So, you, above all, every day, can you dedicate 10 minutes to enhance the message in the world? Because because you are such wonderful people from this wonderful city of Vienna, I'm giving you 7% discount, only 93 days, all right? To everybody I said 100 days, for you only 93 days. What, you're not happy with 7%? Tomorrow morning I'll give you 8% discount. So you follow the journey for the remaining 93 days and there are toolkits on the website how to start. If you do not know how to start a Twitter account, how to magnify the message there, Facebook, YouTube, you can enhance the message. I don't want you to support me. I want you to talk about soil and make everybody talk about soil. This is not about me, this is not about the journey, this is just an effort. But the important thing is the world should talk about soil for the next 100 days and this is what is important. If share the SaveSoil.org website with as many people as you can, especially the Save Soil message video from the homepage. Please make sure it reaches the maximum number of people because what I see is many celebrities and influencers that I've met, they had no clue that there is a problem like this. Suddenly in the last 4 months, because of our campaign that started about 4 months ago at various levels, now there is a little bit of awareness in the influencer segment, but they had no idea. We have over 800 influencers with at least 5 million following supporting this movement right now, they will all start enhancing the message from now on. But you have a very powerful instrument in your hand. You can be a powerful influencer in the world, yes or no? Just learn to use this, you know? So, every message that you send to anybody, whatever you do, just close it with "Save Soil." This is not about me, this is not about this journey, this is about our children's future. Leaving a living soil for future generations is the most important thing we need to do. It's a generational responsibility. And make Save Soil song reverberate everywhere. You can download from the website, or you can make the Save Soil song reverberate everywhere. What le. Better, that's better. And you can download it by scanning the QR code and make this your ringtone, make this so many things, somehow get the message out. Have your children write a letter to the Prime Minister. In India, the Isha homeschool children took up this responsibility that they will inspire 10 million Indian children to write to the Prime Minister. If 10 million children when they write a letter to the Prime Minister, do you believe he can ignore that? Hello? In Austria, at least 500,000 or 1 million children, please write to the Chancellor, he will not ignore it. The problem is, till now people have not spoken responsibly, that is the only problem. You can make your own placards, you can make your own stickers, don't change the color scheme and the thing so that it's represented that way. Every one of you should have at least a sticker on your car saying "Save Soil" for 100 days. Don't tattoo if you want to tattoo it on your forehead, I'll leave it to you, but I'm not advising anything like that. But in every possible way, enhance the message. It's important to do this now as a generation. The problem is, when it comes to consumption, all of us are consuming. When it comes to compensatory activity, all of us are not participating. This is the tragedy of the world. So this happened in Vienna in 1836. Am I referring to a wrong date? Is there some historical event that you're sensitive about, 1836? No. Okay, 1836 is a good number. In 1836 it so happened, people who lived in this city believed there are people on the moon. Because, it keeps changing color, shades, and it looks like people are moving there. Then they wanted to communicate with them. As there was no other means, the wise people of the city decided, we will all gather ourselves on the rooftops of our homes at one given moment. All of us will say in a single voice, "Who?" Let me try this with you, so that when they hear, they will respond. I will say 1, 2, 3, all of you should say "Who" with all that you have, okay? 1, 2, 3. Say, you're wonderful people, you became like this. On that day in 1836, everybody gathered on the rooftops ready to say this "Who?" But me, I'm a small person. My voice, even in the microphone, it's not getting across. If I don't say it, what's the problem? There are all these big guys, he is there, she is there, he is there. What is there if I don't say it? It's a unique moment, all of them are going to say "Who," the entire city. So I just kept quiet. When that moment came, I want to see how all of you will say it. But that moment came and it passed in total silence. Because everybody thought so. Everybody thinks somebody else will do it. That's the only goddamn problem with us. So Vienna, all of you young people, save soil. Let us make it happen.